Hello GSD499 class. So this is seminar 3, so we're almost halfway done. And this week it's all about finally getting to making your game, okay? And so we are looking for a prototype. That means your game needs to work, okay? That doesn't mean it has to be finished. It doesn't need to be polished. You just have to have the main mechanics of what your game is all about. So if you're making a first-person shooter, you need to be able to walk around and shoot. If you're making a platformer, you got to have somewhat of a level done in jumping and any of the game mechanics for that. If you're doing like a temple run game, I know you guys are not, but for example, you need to have the basic mechanics of the game working. So in the example of the temple run game, you might not have the model yet, or you might, but in your prototype you're just going to have a ball in there because you haven't gotten to putting the model in. But so in this example, so you have a ball, and as that ball goes through the level, it jumps, it collects items, it switches lanes, it crashes into things and stuff like that, okay? Your prototype, and so the ball just represents that something is going to be there in the future, right? And so in the next couple of weeks, eventually you'll replace that ball with a model, and that model can run, okay? Another thing is, you could have the model in there, but you could have the animations not done yet. So like a stick figure or a statue moving through the level, and it's not animated yet, but it will be in future releases. So it's all about getting that main mechanics of your game working. The reason is because for seminar 4, one of the other groups is going to be testing your game, okay? So if your game does not have that main mechanic in there, they're going to start grading, testing, the graphics and other things, and and you're not going to get the quality of testing out of the other group if you don't have that main mechanic in there. And so try to concentrate on the general idea of your game, the general mechanics of the game, and not get stuck in the details of trying to get something to work perfectly right, okay? Because this is a prototype. Like I said, it doesn't have to be right. We have 3 more weeks to work on this, okay? So that's the project. Journals and the self-assessments, keep them up. Make sure for the self-assessments you are putting a grade down for yourself and for your teammates when you do them, okay? So give your teammates an A or B or an F or a triple Z if they're that horrible, or if you're that horrible, give yourself a triple Z, whatever you want to give yourself, okay? But stick to the A to F scale. Everybody knows that one. And then one note on the assessments: try to keep the assessments specific to the person. So if you're doing assessment on yourself, try not to include the rest of the group in your assessment. Don't say Bob was yelling at me all week. Just say, when Bob was yelling at me, I did something, blah, 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 right? And then when you do your team assessments, try to do it individually for each person. So that way when you do talk about Bob and when you talk about Jane, it's pretty, black and white of what you're talking about that person. That's it. If you need help, please let me know. Send me an email, send me a chat message on Google Hangout, whatever you need. Okay.